At 2:10 p.m. on December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers comprising Flight 19 take off from the Fort Lauderdale Naval Air Station on Florida on a routine 3-hour training mission. After having completed their objective, Flight 19 was scheduled to take them due east for additional 67 miles, then turn north for 73 miles, and back to the air station after that, totaling a distance of 120 miles. They never returned. 2 hours after the flight began, the leader of the squadron, who had been flying the area for more than 6 months, reported that his compass and backup compass had failed and that his position was unknown. The other planes experienced similar instrument malfunctions. Radio facilities on land were contacted to find the location of the lost squadron, but none were successful. After 2 more hours of confused messages from the flyers, a distorted radio transmission from the squadron leader was heard at 6:20 p.m., apparently calling for his men to prepare to ditch their aircraft simultaneously because of lack of fuel. By this time, several land radar stations finally determined that Flight 19 was somewhere north of the Bahamas and east of the Florida coast, and at 7:27 a search and rescue Mariner aircraft took off with a 13-man crew. 3 minutes later, the Mariner aircraft radioed to its home base that its mission was on the way. The Mariner was never heard from again. Later, there was a report from a tanker cruising off the coast of Florida of a visible explosion seen at 7:50 p.m. The disappearances of the 14 men of Flight 19 and the 13 men of the Mariner led to one of the largest air and sea searches of the date, and hundreds of ships and aircraft combed thousands of square miles on the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, and the remote locations within the interior of Florida. No trace of the bodies or aircraft was ever found. Although naval officials maintained that the remains of the 6 aircraft and 27 men were not found because of stormy weather that destroyed the evidence, the story of the lost squadron helped cement the legend of the Bermuda Triangle, an area of the Atlantic Ocean where ships and aircraft are said to disappear without a trace. Mysterious accounts of disappearances in the area stretching from the southern U.S. coast across to Bermuda and down to Atlantic coast of Cuba and Santo Domingo keep feeding to that mystery. In the Bible, we also have an account of 2 disciples that were facing mysterious situation. They were walking on a road when someone joined them and asked questions about the latest events. They started talking about Jesus' death and resurrection without understanding a word of what's happening. That is when something wonderful happened. Luke 24:31 says, "Then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he disappeared from their sight." It will come a day when our eyes will be opened, and we will see wonderful things. Do you want to be ready for that day? May God bless you.